Well, I've a few new poems, 6 in fact, one per year. I'm not sure that they were written exactly one per year, but that's about it. And the rest of the time I've been translating, and I'm hoping at some stage that after such a long time I'll get back to doing my own. But these are, I suppose you would describe them as tentative poems. First one is called Such as Flicker, which I dedicate to Trevor. I don't know whether he knows I dedicated it to him, but he also had a hand in it, so therefore well entitled to the dedication. They're autobiographical to a large extent, and I'm still kind of finding my way out of many, many years of translation. Flicker in darkness, stumble on pavement, bump on cobble, abrupt knock of head, or oddly oriented nod, or then maybe later, I'm sorry to have to tell you, but map me the soul in the brain's neurons, not what moves eye flicker or movement of limb or even speech. What year is it? Where do you live? When were you born? Where are you now? How many fingers do you see? I don't know. Questions relevant only, possibly, to fixables, answered so I can walk again as I did before, as ignorantly in the same darkness. To walk on, we may say, ignorantly in the darkness, unquestioning, as before, sufficing with the here and now, as always, dyspeptic, euphoric, depending on circumstance, avoiding always. I watched the old lady. The neighbours laid her out on her bed in her own room, cleansed of excrement, not smelling sweetly, but fragrant in the candle's odour and the uncustomary silence of the slum street. Touch her, touch her. She is cold as winter snow and as unanswerable. Tell me, please, tell me. Daringly I touch her flesh, cardboard. And this is a Tell Me Your Story dedicated to George Hitching. Tell me your story, said the crow to the owl. You who have wisdom and know all the answers. And the owl just hooted, blinked and hooted. Why do you sing? Asked the crow of the blackbird. And the blackbird alighted on a branch and simply sang. And so it went on, sparrow and wagtail, thrush and finch, linnet and redpoll, all were interrogated. But all went about their business and met the crow's questions in their own way. And the crow, despondent, went back to the roadway to scavenge as he had always done. This is called The Troubled Soul. There's a few words here from Wordsworth, of all people. We poets in our youth begin in gladness, but thereof come in the end despondency and madness. It didn't apply to Wordsworth himself, needless to say, but I think there's a good deal of truth in those two lines. He walked the streets of the undead. Before his eyes, drunks fell into their graves. Merchants in pinstripe dealt in rags and bones. Beyond the city, cemeteries dominated the landscape. Nightingales croaked above leprous willows. The bells of empty churches tolled sadly. Blue shadows and lined walls stalked him. One was his sister's, whose endearments abated his loneliness but pained him to the quick. Where was he going? Beyond an imposed self, no longer himself, to create a new life. But who and out of what to create a new self? Delving into the depths of the dead in vain, he sought answers to his distress. Then back to a dark sky and flashes of lightning. In his madness, he traversed plains in search of redemption for himself and all his kind. Demons, not angels, danced on the needle point of his mind. And this is called Port. The port gorges and disgorges cargo, effluvial detritus sludges downriver. Crabs cling to the granite embankment. Large grey moths, deathly white, float against the river's debile current. I hide on the last of the granite steps, where the river ferries arrive and depart on the half hour, carrying workmen from north and south, south and north, paying their pence. No money yet or time for me to pay the ferrymen. I have not yet learnt the alphabet. The church angelus was my only chronometer. Time, time, time. Regina Caeli, for him thou wast worthy to bear. No matter. Eyes and ears suck waves slapping against memory. The crabs cling to the decapitated fish heads. And the last of these poems, Abandonment. Again, this one is for Trevor. The other one we know about, but this one is for Trevor. Dig, he said, but not seaside sand for a seaside castle to be washed away by tide. Here, he said, is the buried treasure, my stolen haul. Dig, he said, we've shared a trove of stolen coin. And I dug with my bare hands until, coin by coin, the buried treasure emerged from the clayey soil. He pocketed the trove. Walk, he said, down to the river where the minnows are. The minnows you love. And I did. And he dropped me down from the parapet like a hanged man. And he left me down there. And the tired river, and the tired tidal river rose inch by inch. This is, sorry, there was another poem that was here. Dead Poets Society, you all know that film. I'm tired talking to myself, and those around me, involuntary eavesdroppers, they too are tired listening to me, talking to myself. I should invent a persona to talk to, lock myself away and talk to this persona. But that too would be merely talking to myself once again. So I talk to the dead, who have no choice but to listen to me. And they answer back as they have a right to, and it's my turn to listen.